right, well, my name is Kalisha Buckhanon. I am back, and I decided to record a short video offering advice to writers. I do readings all the time. I get emails, and often they're from writers who really want to know, well, how do I get published? What do I do? How do I improve my writing? How do I meet the right people? But primarily, how do I get published? And I believe that I know it was Eddie Murphy who was asked this question by actors. And he always says, the best advice I can give you is take no one's advice. And that's the way I feel. I sold my novel, first novel, Upstate, in October of 2003 to Monique Patterson at St. Martin's Press in an auction that was governed by my agent, Tracy Sherrod. If you could have told me that at the age of 26, I would have major publishers fighting over my very first novel manuscript, I would not have believed you. However, that's exactly what happened. And it happened in a rather unconventional way. I went to the New School MFA program in creative writing with a concentration in fiction, specifically to work with Sapphire, the author of Push, because I read the novel, fell in love with the novel, happened to be on a trip to New York City, saw an advertisement for their program on the train, and I saw that Sapphire was teaching there. On a whim, I applied and was accepted with a scholarship. So, that being said, the first thing that I would say to people who want to be published, want to write, whatever your goals are with it, write because you love to write. That's exactly what I was doing. My very first novel, Upstate, is a collection of letters between two teenagers from Harlem, Antonio and Natasha. They age from ages 17 to 27, while Antonio is spending time in a prison in upstate New York. This novel is told entirely through their letters. My reaction to Sapphire when she wanted to send the book off to an agent was, who's going to be interested in some letters between two black kids? But there were a lot of people who were interested. So that just goes to show, do what you love. Money, success will come. I know it sounds easy from where I'm sitting, but there are actually a lot of practical tips that I didn't realize at the time were helping me to get to this point, but I know that now, and so I'll share those with you. The very first thing I did was I became a reader from a very, very, very young age. I've always been a bookworm, a nerd, a reader. If you want to practice something, be it the piano, dancing, acting, it's very hard to do so if you're not studying people who have already, in a lot of ways, mastered that craft. So that part came naturally to me. I'm amazed at the number of writers that I meet who say that they don't have time to read. So take the time on the train, commuting to and from work, before bed, whenever you can, to read, and read a variety of writers. Don't stick to one genre. Some people like romance novels, some people like horror novels, some people like classic novels. Read a variety, get a sense of the different styles that are out there. The other thing that I was doing that I didn't realize I was doing was writing without any plans. Some writers say, write every single day. Some writers get up, have a time to write. Some writers have a certain number of hours that they write. Whatever works for you, find a plan to generate some writing. For me, I'm not as disciplined as I should be with it, and I'm not going to complain about that. We're all different. It's worked. But I realized that I was writing often in journals. Pieces that I have at home probably will never see the light of day, but I always used writing as an outlet for expression whenever I felt the urge. And I also found opportunities to write for magazines, newspapers, to write poems for friends, poems for events, things like that, which kind of helped me to practice my skills on a regular basis. Also, I would say the third thing that you should do is take care of yourself. Writing is hard. There's a finished product. We make it look kind of easy, but it really does take a lot out of you mentally. And if you are not necessarily taking care of yourself physically and not necessarily taking care of yourself spiritually, you may not have the stamina to actually make it to the end of a novel. It really, really, really is a journey and a relationship.